everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 11th of April. Happy Friday. And this is my SPY chart. We're continuing on with the Plan Your Trade video. Let's go ahead and get started as we roll through this market move. Now, I've gone through and I've published a bunch of articles and videos this week. So you have a lot of information. We've moved below this consolidation channel here between 550 and 575, 580. We're trying to struggle through this big expanded consolidation pattern here. I believe that we are going to be moving into moderate consolidation. So if I get rid of this line and come back over here, I really do believe that we're going to be moving into like moderate consolidation in this area over the next couple of weeks. Now, I don't really change my analysis. I do believe that there is a chance after this deep low that we could move up into the broader consolidation channel. So this is the lower consolidation channel. I believe this is where price is going to stay on a, whoops, come back over here. This red line is where price is going to stay in the lower channel, but we do have that bigger channel still in play. And that's really this, as I've highlighted over here. I'll get rid of this and this and that to show you again that we still have this bigger channel in play. So on a deep pullback, which we've already seen, there is a fairly large potential that we're going to move up into this area, potentially bouncing up here before moving back down into those lows that I talked about. So again, at this point, we really need to see where this is at. This gives us a good solid bounce. This is an ultimate low, in my opinion, off of this rolling pattern here. You can see that we rolled into, and let me change this to a dark purple. You can see that we've rolled into the flagging pattern, the consolidation, and the breakdown to the ultimate low. Okay, so very cleanly, we've got that yellow breakdown, completing the excess phase peak pattern. This ultimate low should then prompt a major move, potentially back to the upside. Given the volatility that we've had here with Trump and with what's going on in the markets, I believe what's needing to happen right now is a settling. And I believe we're still settling into, and you can see this downward sloping channel. And this basically goes back into my belief that, we're not going to see any real growth in the markets until there's some sort of an impetus for growth. So remember, in 2000 and 2021, 2022, what happened? We had COVID. Yeah, disrupted everything. We had stimulus. Yeah, okay, kicking the markets into gear, throwing money around, trying to spend like mad. We had the American Rescue Plan. We had the stimulus that Trump did. We had the infrastructure plan by Biden. Lots of money was going around, which prompted a massive rally. I mean, we can all see it way back over here. This was a massive rally after COVID back over here. Big rally. I mean, think about this. This is let's go pre-COVID. Just take any pointers, December 24th, 2019, up to these upper levels. It's a 93% rally. 93% rally in 4 years. Think about it. That's almost 100% in 4 years. Pretty good. But when you consider how much money we were throwing around, we get a lot of growth when we're throwing $15 trillion around, or $18 trillion as extra money spending in the economy. Trump is acting to actually lower spending and to kind of put a cap on the books, so to say. So what I'm going to tell you again is that, in my opinion, we are going to be moving into this downward channel, but there's still a chance that we could move back up into this 550, 560 area. And that's the high that we're at. So we could move back up into this 550, 560, 570 area on a big broad pullback through here, and then roll back down into the May lows. Okay. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think this volatility, this big low move is going to throw us, if I spread this out, I think this low move is really going to throw us into some volatility. If I were to try to give you my interpretation, we would be looking at a breakdown and then potentially a rally up into this area and then potentially a breakdown into the May 2nd area right back over here. So that would be, again, bright blue, dark blue, that dark blue area right there. Let's make it very light cyan, something you can see. So that very light cyan color is kind of my expectation. I think we're gonna rally out of this with the 90-day pause. Excuse me. And then on the tariffs, 90-day pause on the tariffs, and then we're going to run into resistance back up here. This is a very strong consolidation channel. So let me try to draw a real line here or use these. This is a very strong consolidation panel. Okay, this is really about as strong as we can get in terms of having true consolidation range right up in this channel. So I think, like I said, I think we move back up into this channel, back over here near the end of April, consolidating and then roll down into an early May, mid-May base bottom here, and then roll back out of it and then roll back into our, our June, July lows. So really, I mean, I think that this move, as I'm drawing all of this, I'll clear this. And, general trend channel would be like this, up to here, back down to here, back up to here, and then back down into our June, July lows. Okay, and so we would be kind of looking as a channel, a little like that. So it gives you kind of a breakdown of where we're at. We've hit this ultimate low, which should bounce. But the bounce is going to run back into resistance back over here, 560, 570, in my opinion. And then we're going to roll down into that early May low, which is really kind of right over in this area. So this is our May low, possibly a little lower. Then we're going to roll back up out of it, find some resistance again, and then roll down into the June, July lows back over here. And again, that's going to set up a pretty solid pattern. When you think about it, we have kind of our A, this is the excess fees peak pattern. So we have kind of an A, B, C coming back here on a pullback, moving into a B, then an A, B, C move down into here. And that could be it. A, B, C, given our wave one, pullback, wave two, A, B, C, wave three. And this could be just a real simple A, B, C pullback, ending possibly around 420, 430, 400, somewhere around there. Remember, my number is here, ultimate low. It's basically 434 to basically 415 right in here. Okay, so that's this number here. That green area. And again, there's my ultimate low target area right over here. Okay, so what we're looking at today is a breakaway pattern in carryover mode. We're in bearish trending. We are technically consolidating here. So what would we get on a breakaway pattern? A breakaway pattern would have to be, again, something that breaks away from yesterday's body range. A body range is the open to close range, the close range, this black area here. So where we're at, 527, and closing into the end of the week, My assumption is, even though we're bearish right here, we've got the 90-day pause on the tariffs. We're moving into Q1 earnings. I think that we're really looking at a bit of an upside move here. I think that we'll probably see the markets roll to the upside and really try to move back up into the 550, 560 area over the next 4, 5, 6 days. So generally, I think that this low has already been established. I don't believe we're going to come back down and retest these lows or break these lows. I think this ultimate low has already been hit at 480, 490. And we're going to move back up into the 550, 560, maybe 570 area before we roll back around April 25th through 29th into that early June low. So my interpretation today is I would be cautious of an upside move. Now, what's the line in the sand? Okay, so you have an A or B scenario right here. Let's call it 520. So you have a bearish below 520. In other words, if we get below 520, we're going to want to try to stay essentially in a downward trend. And then bullish would be above, let's call it 530. So, nope. Bullish above 530. And that would be your AB. I mean, think about it like this, guys. We're really kind of trapped in this range. So, what's going to happen here is we're not going to be going anywhere until we kind of get above this level, 530. Try that again. 530. I can't draw a straight line today. And 520. So we kind of got to get out of that range. Okay. Really, we got to get out of that range in order to actually see some sort of a movement to the upside or to the downside. Below 520, we're looking for bearish trending. Above 530, we're looking for bullish trending. That would qualify as a breakout, maybe 535. And if we don't get above or below that level, then we're going to be trapped, fairly well trapped. Now, the breakout pattern today tells us that we are going to get a big move. The breakaway, this means we're going to get some kind of a big move. So we just got to kind of wait for it this morning. Don't get overly excited about if there's nothing going on in the morning. So now I'll get rid of some of these lines. And we're looking at the same thing here in the QQQ. Let me try to highlight it. And where we're at again is kind of a 455 to like 440 range here. And this is going to be our range for some sort of a breakout. And that is going to be 455 buy above, and 441, 442, call it 441, sell below. Okay, so again, same kind of a setup. We're expecting the markets to try to move out into a breakaway. But in order to get to a breakaway, we've got to get above this 455 or below this 441 level to move into a breakaway pattern. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. And again, on the QQQ here, really the same type of a structure sets up. So I'll try to draw this real quick before I run out of time. And that would be this A move down, moving up into a correction, moving back down into a potential deeper low. Okay, draw that in kind of a blue color and copy. So we'd kind of be looking at something like this as a trend. In other words, we could move back up into the 480, 490 level as a high point over the next couple of weeks, and then roll back down into a much deeper low. Okay, and ultimate low would likely set up here, and then we'd have a secondary ultimate low back over here at some point. Okay, 15, almost 16 minutes in. Let's go over here to gold. Gold is looking very strong. We do have a gap potential in counter trend mode. We are bullish trending. As I mentioned to you, gold was going to rip above 3,200. It did. This is a 4-hour chart. I want you to pay attention to how this is actually moving. You can see silver has really collapsed. Silver is a long way to go, guys. Silver, if this does what I think it's going to do, you're going to see silver rip back up here and then rip up into the 44 area. But gold, leading the way right now, is up in the 32 area. I think if anything, we're going to come down maybe today, roll down into this 3,200 area, try to find some support. And because we have this gap potential, I think we're obviously going to have a gap to the upside theoretically from where we closed yesterday. We were down at just below 3,200 yesterday. We're up at 3,240. We're going to have this big gap. We could come back down here and test this 3,200. But ultimately, like I said, gold is in the parabolic stage. So, I really think 3,300 up here is the next big target. I'm hoping. I think we're in the parabolic move. So I think 3,300 is next. I think this big pullback is kind of at this point is negated. We're at new highs. I'd love to see gold continue to move higher like I talked about. Silver, man, I got my fingers crossed. Silver's just a little bit lagging, and we're not quite seeing that big rally yet. But, gold is leading the way. Silver should follow. It's just silver right now is still really having trouble getting out of its way. But, if you know anything about silver, I'm going to tell you right now, when silver moves, silver will pop. Okay, and that's what happens when silver starts to take off. Silver will pop. These lows back down here, these are a gift for silver, being way back down here near these extreme lows near the beginning of the year, 29, 30. These are a gift for you to be able to load up. Okay, so here's where we're at. We're going to watch how this move plays out. Remember, I think silver's got it in it. I think it can make a big move here. Gold is progressing higher. Silver's just really struggling. I think a good opportunity. Really, look, we're below 32. This is a really good opportunity long run. Okay, and lastly, we'll come back over here to my main chart. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing exactly what I suggested, flagging out into this channel. Remember, follow this line right here. I don't know how to make it any bigger. I can make it a dash or a dotted line. See that dotted line right there? That is I'll do it as a double line. How about that? There we go. That double line is my upper channel for Bitcoin to roll down into this consolidation and breakdown. And this is near the end of April, right into our early May breakdown. So if I am correct, we're going to just see Bitcoin continue to consolidate into this little narrow range before breaking down near the end of April into early May down to this 63,000 level. And again, wonderful comments. Thank you, everybody. Really enjoy it. Let's see how this plays out. The excess phase peak patterns are working out perfectly. We're technically in some sort of a consolidation range here. Would make sense to me that after this low, we're going to come right back up to this 480, 490 area and then roll back around back to the downside. But we got to, again, let price tell us what's happening and try not to overthink this. Today, the word again today is don't get overly aggressive in early trading until we get above this 455 level on the SPY or 441 level, below this 441 level. That's really the zone that I think that we're going to have to break away from in order for us to see any type of extended move. Now, granted, that's a 10-point range, but if we don't get out of that range, we could stay consolidated quite a bit today. Okay, guys, talk to you later.